There is two narratives in the market. One is the macro, where you're watching that these assets are preparing for a huge run up, where you watch through the history, where you learn through the history and understand that we are preparing for a massive run up. Whether it's one asset, whether it's two assets, we have a set of assets out there in the market, which is actually showing you that this is a huge possibility. Now, yes, we watch that crypto market has like 20,000 assets, and finding these 10, 20 is going to be time consuming stuff for sure. You'll have to sit through and go through that because most of them look for the short term market movements. And on a short term, XRP shows it's slowing down, Bitcoin shows it's low, Ether shows it's at the support, it just dropped. All of this is a concern. And on the news side, we are actually watching things differently. See, when I look at things, I'm like, maybe it's just me missing something here because, I've seen the exact same document with the same name like 4 or 5 years back. And I'm like, what's new? I really don't understand that because I'm actually following these guys and I'm watching like, okay, this is actually coming out saying this is something really new. But yes, when you go on Google, typing that in, you actually see some of these news websites showing you as a new report coming out. Say Bank of England releases new paper on Ripple use cases. But then you actually go on the Bank of England website and look for what they are stating here, right? Ripple's Interledger protocol for synchronized settlement of payments using the Interledger protocol. That's what they are saying. And when you actually go on, you actually see that. Yeah, I agree. Ripple exploring the synchronized settlement of payment using the Interledger protocol, which was a fintech accelerator proof of concept. When was that? The Ripple proof of concept was held way back in time. That was in 2017. Now, yes, it did happen. If you didn't know that before, you should. But it's not a new report unless I'm missing something massive here. Because if you actually take a look at this, synchronized payments, that is what they are looking at. And they actually went in extensively to understand how they can actually use the Interledger protocol and Ripple Connect. That's what it was named back then. But is it actually a bad thing? No, we are actually watching things evolve. One of the important stuff in the market now is the Q3 report. When you actually go through the Q3 report, you do see that this asset is poised to run higher for many reasons. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, we're going through a lot of these different assets and understanding the fact that on a macro, few of them are looking like they are going to explode, right? And when you actually look at XRP, you do get some vibe in a similar aspect. Now, I would like to again thank all of you guys who have been hitting that like button. Last video was like 644 likes, and that was like 15% of the viewers hitting that like button. I'm thank you for all of you guys, and especially those who are smashing that like button. So if you are here and you do see value, please hit that like button. Now, as we proceed, first let's take a look at the Q2 report. Now, it actually shows you different reasons, and they actually focus a lot on the current victory over the SEC. So they actually go through this to debunk a lot of misconceptions in the market. Great. And if you are new to this, yeah, it's better to actually read through that entirely. But the key point here stays the same. XRP is not a security in itself. Great. Ripple sales on XRP on exchanges are not securities. Whether it's sold by the Ripple or the executors, it's not a security. Great. It's only an investment contract, or at least they argue that in institutional side. So they actually take you through the misconceptions. The decision is split decision. They go through that argument. They actually take you through each and every FUD which the market is trying to put on you guys so that they can make you sell and buy. That's for sure. That's what they're trying to do. But then if you actually go look at what's real, this is more important. Back in March, the total XRP held by Ripple is here. The total on the ledger for the escrow is like here. So that's 42.8 billion. And now in June 30, it actually shows you, these are actually updated readings. So it kind of gives you a clear picture. What's it? 1 billion went out of it in April, May, and June. So in 3 months, a billion was out of the market, almost a billion. Say 900 million actually went out of the market. So it kind of gives us an idea that they are not dumping a billion into the market every month. That's not what's happening. And right now, with all this, it actually gives us a new idea. The Ripple and XRP is here to stay for the long run. The XRP, that Ripple has fall into two categories, that it has in its wallet and the escrow. Now, look at this. Are they really selling a lot of this, or are they buying it back? That, in my opinion, is important. Because if they really want to make money dumping it on the retail guys, they would actually sell it. They wouldn't be increasing their buy. So for me, I'm looking at this and saying like, okay, they just bought in like 45 million XRP. Is that small amount? No, it is not. And they bought it by June. And in July, you got the case settlement. So boom, the price actually went up. So they now understand the fact that this is just starting. They would buy more. Why wouldn't they? For an asset which is poised to run higher. Now, the only concern which we are watching on the macro is the dollar coming back above this range. And it's still inside the trending channel for sure. So we want to see how this react to the resistance. Short term, it is actually at resistance trying to break through that. And if you do break, you have another level of resistance. Why is that important? Because when you look at the market, say this is the NASDAQ, it is showing you a possible double top forming in here. And if you actually break through this level where it is now, gap down the next day, it can be a little bit messy. It can come back down, drop. That is going to happen. Then you look at the Dow Jones and it literally is like, most likely a retest. You may actually come back down to 34,000 range and you may see a bounce. So that's what's happening on the stock market side of things. Now, if you actually take an understanding of how things are evolving and all these guys trying to fud the market and keep that aside for a moment to look at the price action. See, this is XRP, right? After such a long consolidation, we actually popped 90x, say 85, 88x at that time without the SEC issue. Afterwards, we did go through such a time where the MACD crossed to the upside, where the RSI tried to break to the upside, and we didn't have the SEC issue in the initial phase. But as soon as we started moving up, we got the SEC coming in, hammering us, and we still did at 10x. Now that this is solved, what do you think the price action is about to do? The MACD has already crossed to the upside. RSI is already showing you I'm moving to the upside. So what do you really think? That's one of the reasons why I actually took you through this detail. These guys are buying back. Now, 45 million may sound small in the grand scheme of things, but it is not. How many of us do hold about 10 million XRP? How many of us do hold about a million XRP, right? That is big for us. So 40 million, 45 million is not small amount. These guys are buying it back for a reason. What is that? The price is about to explode. Whether we agree with that or not, that's happening. Now, the question is it just one asset doing that? No, we are watching a lot of these different assets showing us that they are ready to run higher. Some of them already showing the historical movements, the indications, all of them showing they are about to run up. Then that's going to happen this year. If you actually look at the history and learn from that, there is no going back. It's already started. There is no going back. The train has left the station for sure. But what matters here is that it has not yet gotten to that speed where you cannot get in. Right now, we're still at the support trying to show you that the reversal is in. And if that one monthly candle happens to be 100-200% run up, now you miss a lot of the ROI. What do I mean? Say the market do a 25x. You get in after 100% move. What does that actually mean? You're not getting 25x, you're getting 12.5x. Unless you get the exact bottom of the retest, where you may improve your position a little bit. But if you actually look at all of this, you'll understand one factor. These assets have already ran up. That burst came in. That actually went from $90 close to $300. And that was a big run up. So if you actually look at this asset and say, okay, that's going to run much higher, do a 10x, 20x, And if you buy here close to 200, you do miss 100% after this. But a lot of people actually bought on the top close to 275, 300 with that FOMO. That's what you really don't want to do. Once you understand which of these assets are showing you that macro reversal is happening and different patterns is present for sure, we do see that different trend is working out in the market. But when we turn back to the history and learn how things were evolving, it does seem like, okay, there is a lot of factors which look similar. There is a lot of things which highlight the fact that the money is re-entering the market and the wise money enters the market during this phase. FOMO enters the market as you break through this and then you don't have too much ROI. And that's where a lot of people start taking profits. You see those happening in the same market. So yes, you do see 10, 20, 25 assets showing you a macro reversal signal where you may actually get an advantage. Say if you don't have any of this asset in your portfolio, at that point it can be a bad ROI structure. Say you have 20 assets in your portfolio, but none of these are there. That doesn't actually look good. But say you have 5 of this and they actually do half of the actual run-up which they have shown here. That means your portfolio now has an advantage over vast majority of others. 90% of the people lose money in this market in a 3 to 5 year span. And some of them go for short-term trading and lose it all in a year span. So if you are here for the long run and looking to make the best out of this upcoming run up, it really looks like, you actually did this phase. You're about to blow through this. You're here. Right now you're here, right? And that blow off, once you get a monthly candle showing 100, 200% run up, you can still make some money for sure, but you don't actually get to see the real ROI structure. When some of these patterns, historical patterns, shows you exact similar movements, showing that I have room to the upside and it's just the trigger which we are waiting for. And that trigger can be a breakout for sure. You'll have to follow up, you'll have to look for these. And some of that assets are showing you like, okay, there is a huge possibility I may retest this breakout. That can be a big buy zone. Wait for those opportunities, because if history plays out, that means you're about to watch the entire market running up. One of the primary reasons I'm going through all this is to show some of them have like just 200, 300% run up. Some of them are crazy, right? One of the things I have understood, like average, you're looking for around 20, 30x, but there are some which actually shows you that historically speaking, they are about to do massive run up. Some of them showing you 50x. Some of them, I believe, showing like, 200x run up, which is huge. So even if you just have 1% of your asset in that position, now that means it can actually blow through. Just 1% doing that massive 200x is huge for your entire portfolio. Now, the difference is how much risk are you willing to take? So waiting for these indicators to turn on and show you that it's about to start was the hard stuff. The wait was the real hard stuff in the market. Waiting was the hardest part for all of us. Now that we already got these indicators saying, now the wait is over, now it's time to buy and pop up. New guys are going to come in and the bottom is already in. You're not watching the price going back to these levels again. What you would see is that new guys come in and understand the fact that this is about to blow off. And that's where FOMO comes in. So if you're a trader, yeah, your time is just starting. That's going to be a great season. But if you're an investor, it's here that, you buy low, sell high, not the opposite for sure. You don't try to buy in at the midpoint and try to catch the top. It's going to be risky. You try to get the confirmation and buy somewhere close to the bottom, if not at the bottom, and then ride it. And as you go up, you do take the profit. You're not waiting to catch the exact top here. So now that's the general market perspective happening. And we're actually going through a lot of this in our digest, in a lot of these updates, following a lot of these assets in the group. So if you are interested in such updates, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. Now, before we wrap up, I would actually like to highlight the fact that, yeah, we're watching the Bitcoin showing us a daily engulfing candle to the downside, which doesn't actually look really good because it shows us the fact that we actually went up to retest this range of support which was broken. and the price action got rejected, which shows like, okay, we got volatility. Like we actually got a lot of these wicks earlier, and we actually understood the fact that, okay, the price went as low as 28,700 and it got rejected. Then we went back up to 30K and we got rejected. That means now the market is trying to make a decision, but as of now, you can say buyers are still in control. This is the trend line and we are trying to come back up. But local bottom may not be in yet. We can still come back down to test this trend line. We can still wick a little bit lower below this trend line. On a 3-day chart, the MACD is crossing to the downside. It's showing you a negative movement. On a daily, it's trying to go back up to positive. So any price action going to the downside, any movement to the downside here would attract buyers because that's the trend line. That's the trend. Trend is your friend. So guys, if you received value, please do hit that like button. And if you are looking for these kind of updates on a lot of different assets, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.